Ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully, because what I'm about to share with you is not theory, not philosophy. It is life, your future, your time. When I was young, everyone around me was smarter than me. They had better grades, better connections, better opportunities, but I discovered something they didn't understand. Time is the most valuable currency in the world, not money, not talent, time, and the truth is simple. If you don't respect your time, the world will not respect your dreams. Most people say, I don't have enough time. No, you have time. You simply don't use it wisely. The difference between the successful and the unsuccessful is not intelligence, it's not luck, it is the ability to spend time on what truly matters. I failed many times, rejected from jobs, rejected from opportunities, rejected from universities, but I realized something powerful. You can lose money and earn it back, but once you lose time, you never get it back. So today, I want you to wake up, not tomorrow, not next week, now, because every minute you spend on excuses, someone else is building their future. Every minute you spend doubting yourself, someone else is learning, improving, growing. Every minute you waste is a minute stolen from your destiny. Today's topic is simple but life changing, how to spend your time wisely for success. If you understand this, your whole life will change. I want you to sit up, open your mind, and ask yourself one question. Am I controlling my time, or is my time controlling me? Because only when you master your time, you master your success, you master your life. Let's begin. Time is the only resource every human receives in equal measure, yet it becomes the clearest separator between those who succeed and those who continue to struggle. When you begin valuing your time the way people value money, everything in your life begins to shift. Most people guard their money tightly, counting every rupee, every dollar, every cent, but they let their minutes disappear like dust in the wind. They treat time as if it's infinite, as if tomorrow is guaranteed, as if success will wait for them. But time does not wait. It moves with or without you. When you start treating each minute like something you own, something precious, you begin to use it differently. You think twice before wasting an hour scrolling, gossiping, or complaining. You start to see how small decisions accumulate into big outcomes. Just as financial wealth is built through the consistent saving and investing of money, life success is built through the consistent saving and investing of time. People often say they are too busy, but the truth is most are simply busy doing the wrong things. They are busy avoiding challenges, busy chasing distractions, busy filling time instead of using it. When you value your time as money, you begin to understand opportunity cost. The price you pay every time you choose something unimportant over something meaningful. The moment you realize that every hour you waste today is a piece of tomorrow's success you are sacrificing, you start acting with discipline. You become intentional about where your hours go. You stop giving your time to people who don't respect it. You stop letting tasks that don't matter consume your day. You build boundaries. You start measuring your life not by how long you live, but by how well you use the time you have. And the truth is, valuing time is not about working non-stop or becoming a machine. It's about recognizing that your time is your life. When you waste time, you are wasting yourself. When you invest time, you are building your future self. If you wouldn't throw money into a fire, then don't throw your hours into activities that lead you nowhere. Every successful person, every great leader, every billionaire understands this simple truth. Time is the real currency of success. Once you respect your time, others begin to respect it too. Once you stop giving your minutes cheaply, you begin to see how expensive they truly are. And once you shift this mindset, success stops being a dream and becomes a direction. Knowing how valuable your time is leads naturally into another powerful truth. Success is not about doing everything. It is about doing the right things. This is why successful people say no more often than they say yes. What separates someone who reaches their goals from someone who never does is not hard work alone, but the ability to focus on what truly matters. Most people spread their time thin across dozens of unimportant tasks. They chase every idea, every distraction, every invitation, every request. They allow their attention to scatter until their energy becomes too weak to produce strong results. But the people who rise to the top understand that they cannot afford to waste their focus. They protect it the way a warrior protects his sword. They know that victory requires clarity. To focus on what matters, you must first decide what matters. Most people never take the time to define their priorities. They live in reaction mode, responding to whatever appears in front of them. Messages, notifications, drama, temporary desires. Focus requires planning. It requires knowing your goals, your direction, and your purpose. Once that becomes clear, everything else becomes noise. When you know where you're going, you stop letting irrelevant things steal your time. You stop chasing every trend and start building things that last. You learn to distinguish between activities that are urgent and activities that are important. Urgent things demand attention now, but important things shape your future. Most people spend their days drowning in urgency while avoiding importance. Successful people do the opposite. Learning to say no is a skill, and at first it feels uncomfortable. You may worry about disappointing people. You may fear missing out. But as you begin to filter your commitments, you start regaining control over your time and your life. Saying no is not rejection. It is protection. It is choosing long-term growth over short-term pleasure. It is understanding that your energy is limited, and if you give it away freely, you will have nothing left for the things that truly matter. Focus is not about doing more. It is about doing less, but doing those few things extremely well. When you narrow your efforts, your results multiply. This is why successful people often appear calm, despite handling huge responsibilities. They are not doing everything. They are doing the right things, consistently, with full attention. When you combine these two principles, valuing your time like money and focusing on what truly matters, you create a powerful foundation for achieving success. You stop operating on autopilot and begin living with intention. You stop letting the world decide how you spend your hours. You begin to see how much progress you can make when your time has purpose behind it. Every minute becomes a building block for something greater. Every choice becomes a step toward the future you want. Learning every day is one of the simplest habits to develop, yet it is the habit that separates those who grow consistently from those who remain stuck. Most people believe that success comes from one big breakthrough, one big moment, or one lucky opportunity. But in reality, success is created through continuous learning, small improvements, and steady progress. When you commit even 30 minutes a day to learning, reading, listening, observing, practicing, you begin to compound your knowledge the same way money compounds in a bank. Every new idea you absorb becomes a tool you can use for the rest of your life. Every new skill you develop becomes a form of personal equity that no one can take away from you. The problem is that many people underestimate the power of small daily learning. They think, what difference will half an hour make? But that half hour, when repeated every day, becomes a treasure chest of wisdom over months and years. Learning daily is not only about formal education, it's about curiosity. It's about exploring a new concept, understanding a new strategy, or gaining insight from someone else's experiences. The world is full of people who stopped learning after school, but the world keeps changing. The market changes, technology changes, opportunities change. If you are not learning, you are falling behind even if you think you are standing still. The people who rise in life are the ones who adapt quickly because they never stop growing. They treat learning as a responsibility, not an option. They understand that the more they know, the more capable they become. And the more capable they become, the more opportunities open for them. Even 30 minutes of learning each day has the power to shift your mindset. It introduces you to ideas you may have never considered. It challenges your old beliefs and replaces them with stronger, more useful ones. It helps you make better decisions because you have a wider base of knowledge to draw from. It gives you confidence because you know you are becoming better, sharper, wiser. Most importantly, Daily learning builds momentum. The more you learn, the more curious you become. The more curious you become, the more you want to learn. This creates a lifelong cycle of self-improvement that not only changes your career, but transforms your character. In a world full of distractions, learning daily requires discipline. It requires saying no to entertainment sometimes. It requires choosing a book over scrolling, a podcast over gossip, a tutorial over complaining. But each time you choose learning, you are investing in yourself. And the investment you make in yourself is always the investment with the highest return. Small habits eventually become big advantages. When other people panic in the face of new challenges, you adapt because you have knowledge to guide you. When others rely on luck, you rely on skill. When others stay the same, you grow. This is the real power of learning every day. Just as learning daily is essential for personal growth, using your time to build instead of comparing yourself to others is essential for emotional strength. In today's world, it is easier than ever to compare your journey with the journey of others. With a single swipe, you can see someone's highlight reel, their achievements, success, lifestyle, appearance, possessions, popularity, and because you only see the best parts of their lives, you begin to feel like your own life is slow, boring, or inadequate. Comparison steals joy, but even worse, it steals time. It keeps people stuck in a cycle of jealousy, insecurity, and self-doubt. They waste hours worried about what other people are achieving instead of building something of their own. They spend time looking sideways instead of moving forward. But when you stop comparing and start building, everything shifts. You begin to understand that the only competition you truly have is yourself. No one else has your journey, your experiences, your strengths, your dreams, or your timing. When you compare yourself to others, you measure your chapter 1 against someone else's chapter 20. You forget that you are on a different path. You start doubting your progress, and this doubt slows you down. But when you focus on building, you use your time differently. Instead of worrying about who is ahead or behind, you concentrate on improving your own skills, creating your own opportunities, and developing your own success. Building takes time, but that time becomes meaningful because it moves you forward. Every moment you spend improving yourself brings you closer to your goals. Every moment you spend creating something new, whether it's a habit, a project, a business idea, or a skill, adds value to your future. When you spend time building, you shift your attention from external validation to internal growth. Instead of asking, "What do others think of me?" you begin asking, "How can I become better than I was yesterday?" This change in mindset frees you from unnecessary pressure. It allows you to work at your own pace. It allows you to remain grounded and focused even when the world tries to distract you. Comparing yourself to others is like running a race while constantly looking at the people beside you. You lose speed, you lose balance, you lose focus, but when you run with your eyes on your own lane, you move with more clarity and purpose. You make better decisions because you are guided by your own vision, not by someone else's achievements. You use your time wisely because every minute goes toward your growth instead of someone else's approval. You begin to appreciate your progress, no matter how small, because you understand that growth takes time and patience. You realize that success is not a competition but a journey, and the most important step is always the next one you take. Spending your time building instead of comparing empowers you to stay consistent. It allows you to take control of your emotions. It strengthens your confidence because you start recognizing your own abilities. You stop feeling threatened by the success of others and instead feel inspired. Their achievements become proof that success is possible, not proof that you are behind. This mindset creates peace. It creates focus. It creates unstoppable momentum. When you commit to learning daily and using your time to build rather than compare, you transform your days into something meaningful. Each day becomes a step forward. Each minute becomes a tool for growth. Each choice becomes a part of your success story.